with NPR. You mentioned that you wanted to see the Ayatollah in exile in Moscow, but the Russians are providing political cover for the Iranians at the UN. Today, Putin called Netanyahu to, present himself as a peacemaker. What do you think the Russians are doing? Do you think Trump could believe the Russians in this case?
Once the dust settles, as far as the Iranian people are concerned, and how in this game of geopolitics things sometimes unfold in one direction or the other, even Moscow is considering, what if this regime is no longer there? Then what? The Chinese are doing the same. They've been very quiet lately, not taking any position. So I'd rather not speculate, but simply say that a stable Iran, a strong Iran, a democratic Iran will not be antagonistic to anyone's interest, including Russia and China. What we want as Iranians is a fair deal. We don't want to be taken advantage of in lopsided, unfair deals that is against the national interest of Iran simply because a corrupt regime and weak is offering concessions left and right. We want to have a fair relationship with everyone. It's a normal interest for us to look towards the West, primarily because we are focused on democratic free nations to partner with in alliance and cooperation. And of course, our immediate neighborhood, which is why it is crucial for the world to understand that a different Iran will be committed to cordial relations with our immediate neighbors, with Israel, with the Saudis, and the rest of them in the Arab world, and the rest of the countries in our immediate neighborhood. And that extends to everybody else, provided, of course, that we as a sovereign nation are able to protect our liberties and our rights. And we'll deal accordingly and reciprocally with anybody respecting that, based on mutual respect. That's the end of the subject. So whatever we see now happening depends on the clarity of the ultimate outcome. The more the Iranian people are empowered, the more we can then tell the world, we as Iranians, unlike this regime, are committed to peace, are committed to stability, are committed to improve the lives of people by means of trade, commerce, cooperation, and everything else that this regime has taken away from us. Iran today should have been the next South Korea of the Middle East. Iran at the time had 5 times the GDP of South Korea. Today we have become North Korea. Not because we don't have the human resources, not because we don't have the natural resources, but because we have a governance that doesn't give a damn about the people and the livelihood, that have exploited our nation and its resources, that has impoverished our nation while funding radical extremist terrorist groups and proxies in the region and beyond, have outstretched their arms all the way to Latin America, and are still standing there only because the delay in their collapse was a result of appeasement. The game changer is enough is enough. The game changer is these people deserve better. And they have proven that unlike this regime that hates the Western world in particular, and particularly the United States, that wants to wipe off a country off the map of the world, we as Iranians are committed to a different future. I went to Israel 2 years ago to show that we are the descendants of Cyrus the Great, who 25 centuries ago helped Jewish slaves be freed from the Babylonian government, helped them rebuild the temple in Jerusalem, a country that in the Second World War period gave refuge to Jews escaping the tyranny of Hitler, a country that, unlike this regime, wants to have cordial relationship with the state of Israel and the rest of our neighbors, a country that holds high in our principles and values the first Declaration of Human Rights that Cyrus the Great provided that was inspiring people like Thomas Jefferson and was included into the American Bill of Rights and Constitution or Declaration of Independence. We have pride in that. And the children of Cyrus are not telling you that we are committed to that. That's when I talk about the Cyrus Accords is in that spirit. This is not me saying it. This is our nation, its culture, its national identity. And this is your truest friend that is now being clobbered, as you saw in that video, by a regime that is un-Iranian and is a threat to all of us. And this is what's at stake, simply at the end of the day. So it's better for all of us to now think of how different the world will be with a liberated Iran. And this is our moment in time. This is Iran's chance to finally, after 47 years, liberate itself. And I hear people from across the world. I see how much sympathy now there is for Iranians, from Australia to Argentina to Canada to Sweden to many, 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 many countries that are standing with the Iranian people. The people do. Now it's time for their governments to be online and on par with the expectation of various countries that are demonstrating their support for the Iranian people, and even they ask their respective governments to act. It's not just Iranians asking the outside world to act. People in different countries are beginning to ask their governments to act. And I hope that such governments hear their people and our people and stop listening to the regime that has been lying to them deceitfully and is hanging on to power by yet trying to find another opportunity to get out of this quagmire. Let's not give them that chance yet again.
I'm afraid last two questions, BBC Persia and then NDTV.